My name's Roxanne Calder and I'm the Managing Director at S10. I thought I'd share with you some information on a market update, which is really relevant when you're an employer at the moment looking to do some interviews or recruiting. So the first thing that I would probably say to you, if you've not interviewed for a little while, and by a little while I mean 6 months plus, you may be in for a little bit of a surprise. So let me maybe share something with you that goes back 9 years. So when I first opened the business 9 years ago, if I picked up a job, I could simply advertise on Seek, and I would find someone that day or the following day, and I could line up interviews and I would have everything sorted pretty quickly. Those days are absolutely gone. So if you're somebody who's looking to recruit directly and you think that you can just simply advertise and find someone, then it will be a struggle for you. And the reason for that is that Australia is going through a considerable shortage of talent. I call it a dire shortage of talent, and it's across the board. So it's not just in our space, but it's pretty much everywhere. So if you can imagine a graph, and we have one that we could share with you, but if you can imagine a graph of job seekers that are decreasing and job vacancies that are increasing, then there is a gap that's there that is narrowing. So put simply, you're not going to have the choice of candidates that you used to. But there are ways around it. So let me just sort of share some tips for you around that. So the first thing that I would suggest is to have all of your processes lined up. So you need to move with speed in this sort of market, and you'll know the sort of people that work well in your business and the cultural fit. So when you see them, snap them up. You don't need to wait for benchmarking or for 3 or 4 candidates, is my advice to you. When I say line up all your processes, what I mean by that is all of your interviews really should happen between 3 and 5 days. When you delay that longer, you run the risk of losing candidates. So know that those candidates that are interviewing with you are also interviewing with lots of other places. So it's almost like things are in reverse from what they used to be. So those candidates have ample choice. So not only do you need to position yourself as an employer of choice and have your value proposition very strong, you need to be very much aware that they are interviewing elsewhere. So here's an interesting thing. When they interview with you, highly likely they're going to come out of that first interview and be totally on a high and be almost in love with the role and with meeting with you. And then there's something that happens after that if you don't come back to them quickly enough with either another interview or some sort of offer or something that is engaging. The ego starts to protect itself as a candidate, and what happens is the brain starts to find reasons why that role might not be as good as they first thought when they met you. So after a 3-day period, and we've reported on this and matched this with our candidates as well. So again, we've got the data to show you on this. After 3 days, candidates start to decrease their interest in your job if they haven't heard from you. So you don't want that to happen. So you need to keep your candidates that you're interviewing with engaged. And it's very natural, so this is normal for humans to do this. And you might say, yeah, but if they wanted my role, then they'll wait for me. Well, that's true, but they can't wait for a wish of an offer. So if you're not giving them something solid, then what are they waiting for? And interestingly, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but as the employer, this is now the psychology working backwards for you. This is it protecting you to say, oh, they don't want us, so it's okay, they should be hanging out to work with us. And again, those days are really, really gone. So my advice to you is be quick, be efficient, know what good looks like. And my other piece of advice, which is really critical, is compromise. So when you're navigating a market like this, if you keep doing the same thing, you will not be successful. But so you need to switch strategies, and part of that is to compromise. Now, when I say that to some clients, automatically they think, oh, I've got to drop my standards. Absolutely not. You don't have to drop your standards, but you do need to compromise a little bit. So know what is critical for the role, and then know what you can train on potentially. And here's something else that I always advocate with clients. Please look for beautiful attitudes with people. So when you've got a candidate that's interviewing with you and maybe they don't have all of the background that you want and all of the experience, but they're willing to learn, they're willing to be trained, they're willing to work hard, they've got a great work ethic, then I would encourage you to look at those candidates, absolutely. There's so much more that I can share with you. We've got some really great market updates in writing, we've got some white papers to share with you, but I'd like to do this short clip just because some people don't have time to read it. So if you'd like those, don't hesitate to reach out to us. It's 02 9002 0210, or of course email us. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much.